is Klopp done at Liverpool? And I'm not sure if it's the. I like Jürgen Klopp, but I've run out of patience. And I think I've been one of the more patient people with him, because for the first year we always said you got to wait till he gets his squad together, got to give him a chance. Now we're going on 3 years, and Brendan Rodgers had more points than Klopp did, and he's gotten his team. And Brendan Rodgers now has more points with Celtic than he did. Are they playing tomorrow or Wednesday, by the way?
Wednesday. They play
Who do
Wednesday
they have?
Against that tiny little team. What are they called again? Oh, yeah, Bayern Munich.
Is that who they're playing?
Yeah. So
nice.
This is make or break for any sort of chance at qualification for Celtic. I'm going to go to the Celtic Supporters Club right here
in Bayern
on Broadway. No, I'm not going to Bayern.
No,
I
I'm
mean,
saying, are they
Bayern?
playing at Celtic Park or are they playing in Bayern?
No, the game is in München, in Bayern. So they're going to have to play them basically in Germany, and then they have to come back and play them again, back-to-back games at Celtic Park. So it's going to be a tough test. If we get 3 points out of there, the hope's not. Maybe we draw, or maybe even if we lose, or maybe if we get 2 or 3 points, I think we're all right. If we draw and draw, fantastic. If we lose and win, fantastic. If we lose, then obviously we're out. But Bayern are a little bit hindered at the moment. I don't want to go into a Champions League preview, but they're a little hindered. But back to the point, a great point, Jason, about Brendan Rodgers. Yes, Brendan Rodgers came under scrutiny. Let's not forget, he almost delivered Liverpool to which something was called impossible to them, which was a Premier League trophy. He came closer than any manager out of the last, 5 or 6 managers to winning the Premier League. And albeit a Steven Gerrard slip, they may have just won it. So he was scrutinised and ripped apart for his approach and how Liverpool were often looked at as always the bridesmaid team. And then Jürgen Klopp comes in, and because he's a lad and he looks if he'd want to go out for a beer and he celebrates and he's lively on the sideline, that he's given this pass. No, exactly. And I like him too, but it's given this pass. And his decisions this transfer window were shocking to me. He relied on the likes of Dejan Lovren at the back and Matip and these guys, and Moreno still playing left back, which is a shambles to any outfit that he still plays there. Those are questions that should be asked of him. And just because the guy looks like he would neck a couple of Jaeger bombs, it doesn't mean that you don't ask him about why he's not made these decisions for his team. Because what's going to happen is, which will probably, I'm waiting for it to happen this week in the Champions League, is they're going to suffer again. They've been the worst out of any of the British teams in the Champions League so far. That is including Glasgow Celtic, who at least beat Anderlecht away from home in a constant performance. So yeah, struggling.
I think Liverpool being in the Champions League has been more of a curse than it's been a blessing. For some teams, it's a tough balance. For the world's top, I mean, as you just mentioned, even with Bayern, it hasn't been a blessing for them either, because it's a lot for them to be going up against. And actually, I caught some of the Borussia Dortmund game this weekend in which they lost at home, and they're still on top of the table if I'm correct. So that's a kind of an interesting mess going on over in Bundesliga. But in general, some teams are able to get momentum and snowball from the Champions League back into the Premier League and back and forth and back and forth. I don't see Manchester City or Manchester United really losing form. And Tottenham, again, I kind of want to transition back to them really quick because they took care of business. I think the greatest thing I saw all weekend was the fact that before the game, they sent 2 wizards to Wembley to lift the curse on their home form, and it worked.
Yes.
It's like a real thing that happened. I got to find the picture. Pretty much Harry Potter went there and they did some spells and Christian Eriksen found the back of the net and there you go. 1-0 Tottenham win. And I think what really sucks is if they had White Hart Lane, I think Tottenham would have even better, obviously better home form. They'd have their own home. But
yes,
just all the respect in the world that goes to them. They're fighting against an unbeaten Manchester United, Manchester City squad, and they're going to go, into Real Madrid, or they're hosting Real Madrid tomorrow in the Champions League, and even if they lose, we're probably going to see some fundamentally sound football against the Champions League favorites.
Yeah, and that's also a Tottenham team that, Christian Eriksen banged in a goal, so it wasn't all just Harry Kane, as Pep Guardiola would like
Wizards,
to
though.
assume.
I mean, that had to do with the Wizards.
Yeah, it's Gandalf. It was Dumbledore. They were the ones that helped Tottenham get forward. Maybe Guardiola's going to call them Gandalf and Dumbledore's team next. But
the Harry Kane
this
team.
Is also a team that are having to adjust to not having their fullbacks covered. Like they had to have Vertonghen play left back because Danny Rose, as we know, is injured, and they're putting Trippier at right back. So they're having to pull from their depth, a depth that isn't as I wouldn't say blessed as the likes of Manchester City, who have Yaya Toure, Gundogan, Sergio Aguero all on the bench ready to come on. So they're having to pull from their depth, and they're still getting the job done. And that's all that matters. If you can go in, get a 1-0 victory at home against Bournemouth, it's not the worst thing that can happen. And you're still keeping yourself only 3 and 5 points behind, respectively, at the top of the table. But one thing that I do want to address, I'm sure this clip's running way long as we expected with you and I both back on Skype.
Oh, it's perfect.
Watford deserve all the credit. I want to rip on Arsenal. I do. But Watford are sitting 4th in the table. They're only 2 points adrift of Tottenham. They're above Chelsea. They were battered for half of that game by Arsenal. Arsenal, if you were to look in the dictionary to what does an Arsenal performance look like, that would have been it. They battered their opponent for a large part of the game. They had several chances to put the game without doubt. Gomez just was frighteningly good between the sticks. But then they bounced back. They got a penalty kick, which it takes a lot to beat basically Bellerin in a foot race. But the wing back, who his name is evaded right now for Watford, caused all sorts of problems. Specifically, he was involved with the second goal as well, which got them a break of the bounce, and the ball ended up falling into the back of the net, and they deserved it. So Watford deserve all the credit. Like, Arsenal didn't take advantage of their chances, and a team like Watford always deserves credit when they can keep it. I mean, the top of the table, you remove Watford from the top 8, and you've got the expected teams: Manchester City, Manchester United, Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Burnley are in there. So good credit to them. They're mixing it as well. So apart from that, it looks pretty good to me, and Watford deserve a lot of credit for that.
They do. It's almost like this Arsenal strategy of let's see if these players get a kick in the ass by just not re-signing any of their contracts. This is a good idea. They're like, it seems like they checked out. And then the other talking point that kind of came up was like Alexis Sanchez in Chile not qualifying for the World Cup. How does that affect his mindset? Well, obviously he's not in a good mood.
No,
people are trying to go really deep psychologically. I go, it's pretty simple. He's probably pretty upset.
Yeah, it's like, look at any U.S. men's national team fan and times that by about 20. Like, you're upset if you're a fan that's not there. Imagine what it's like when you're a player who it's worse for the likes of Alexis Sanchez, because Chile are a pretty good outfit and they have a chance every World Cup. It's not like they're just going to go there to just take part.
Back-to-back Copa Americas, right? Two straight. They won like the Centenario and the one, like the standard one before it, because. And now we don't have a Copa America for like 5. Who knows? I like how we make up.
Yeah, so I'm sure it takes its toll.
Absolutely.
It takes its toll on them.
But I think that's more surprising, or almost as surprising, I should say, as the Netherlands, who 2014 and 2010 were major threats and had a deep squad and everything that went with it to getting to the semifinals in both of those World Cups, or just the 2014 one.
The final in one and the semifinal in the other.
Right. So, and now
to
to 2018. It's just a crazy transition. All right.
And that's 2 major tournaments they missed. They missed the Euros as well. Keep that in mind. So that's 2 major tournaments for the Dutch. There's 2 things I hate in this world, Jason.
People
insensitive to other people's feelings, and the Dutch.
People insensitive of other people's cultures.
God, that was it, yeah.
And the Dutch.
Amazing.
It's an amazing
line. What a movie.
All right, we'll be back in a second, because I want to talk about Hertha and what they did this weekend, too. I forgot to mention that.
Nice.